Tonight at 6, a suspect has been arrested in connection to the murder of a woman in Kent last month. We'll have the latest from Kent Police on this developing case.
Are you going to be traveling this Christmas? Our reporter Dennis Farahani will tell you everything that you need to know if you're traveling this holiday break.
It may be Ford tough for some car owners. Ford is recalling many vehicles over safety concerns. What vehicles are affected and who should be looking out?
The holidays are a stressful time for many, and CNN's Jody Baumstein will tell you how to navigate holiday stress. All these stories and more as TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good Tuesday evening, Portage County, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Noah Rowe.
And I'm Joe Malbin. We start tonight with updates on a homicide that happened in Kent last month.
The Kent Police Department has announced that the suspect, DeJuan Wilson, has been arrested in Texas for allegedly murdering a 35-year-old woman in Kent this November.
Police say that Wilson is currently in custody and there's still an expedition process to have him transported from Texas to Ohio that has to take place. Wilson was the suspect on the murder of a 35-year-old woman on November 22nd in an apartment complex in Kent.
Moving back to campus, though, our very own Dennis Farahani spoke to students about their holiday travel plans and to find out what are some things that we can do to make it easy during holiday travel.
Dennis, what can you tell us?
Hi guys, that's right. The holiday travel season is upon us, and airports want you to make sure you know the work they're doing for you to have a comfortable flight to your holiday destination. The Akron-Canton Airport has been working very hard since COVID to help with their travel numbers. With that, travel numbers have increased significantly, and the airport has added many additions to make sure that their flyers are happy. With the holidays coming up, flight delays and cancellations are looming, but airlines and airports are working to get everyone to their holiday destinations. Take a look.
On the holiday decorations, you'll notice a very seamless, clean atmosphere, the ability for folks to really navigate through the checkpoint, the TSA checkpoint in minutes, if not seconds, depending on when you arrive here, and then the ability to get a bite to eat before getting to your gate, and having that experience again seamlessly is what we pride ourselves on.
Coming up, I have the full story on what both flyers are hoping to see and what else the airport has done for them and is expecting in numbers. Make sure to stick around. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Dennis Farahani.
Thank you, Dennis. The Kent State Bookstore is inviting students to find a moment of zen and take a break from the end of semester stress. At their Lifelines Corner, you can make a craft with Fab and learn more about CARES and Wellness Wednesday. You can play games with friends, make snowflakes, color, enter a raffle, or have some hot chocolate. All this takes place from 3 to 5 p.m. tomorrow in the bookstore.
A brand new sports-themed coffee shop is set to open in Kent. State Champs will open in January at 427 Franklin Avenue. The idea of the sports-themed coffee shop came from Kent State alum Casey Kopp and her business partner, Allie Eclairin. Eclairin said it's one of those great ideas where you think it must already exist, and upon doing research, it doesn't. To help fund the business, Kopp and Eclairin started a campaign on crowdfunding website Kickstarter.
Good Tuesday evening, everyone. Let's get right into the weather for this evening. Currently at Kent, it is quite chilly outside and wet, as it has been all day today. Outside, it is 34 degrees. We have a slight mixture of rain and snow coming into our area this evening. Feels like 34. Our dew point is at 33. Winds are really light this evening, north at 3 miles per hour. Humidity is pretty high at 88%, and visibility is at 8 miles. As for tonight, temperatures, like I said, are going to drop right to that freezing line. Cloudy skies overnight. Winds are going to pick up just a little bit northwest at 7 miles per hour. And for tomorrow, 6 a.m. will bring us 33 degrees and cloudy skies. You're definitely gonna stay bundled up as you are heading to class Wednesday morning. 12 p.m. just gonna go up a little bit in temperatures to our high of 36 degrees. Pretty low tomorrow for our overall temperatures. Cloudy skies will persist for the rest of the day, and 6 p.m. will bring us right back down to 33 degrees and cloudy skies. Coming up later in the show, I will give you guys the full rundown on what you can expect in the next 7 weeks. Back to you, Joe.
Attention all selfie lovers. Be sure to keep your phones on next time you fly into Akron-Canton Airport. A wall inside of the airport terminal is getting a makeover, becoming a wing art mural designed to showcase public photos. The wall will serve as a haven for selfies and portraits, and if you're wondering why they are putting up this wall, airport spokesperson Christian McCauley said to expand our sense of place in the community.
Signal Ohio, one of the nation's largest nonprofit news startups, launched Signal Akron today, its second newsroom in Ohio. Signal Akron's goal is to increase accountability, reporting, and visibility of stories relevant to Akron residents, including coverage of arts and culture, local government, education, health, and more. 6 editors and reporters have been hired so far.
Motorists were able to support the Marine Toys for Tots Foundation in a very special way this past weekend. Goodyear Tire, Rubber Co., and the U.S. Marine Corps Reserve partnered to host the annual toy drive at the Wingfoot Lake Hangar. Motorists got to drive through the blimp hangar in Suffield Township in order to drop off a new unwrapped toy for Marine children in need. The collection will continue from 2 to 7 p.m. on Sunday.
Windham Village's annual parade of lights will be this Sunday starting at 6 p.m. Lineup will be across the street from the Dollar General store at 9132 North Main Street at 5:30 p.m. The parade will proceed down North Main Street to the Community Center for photos with Santa Claus. There will also be hot dogs, hot chocolate, cookies, and a kid's craft.
Moving up to Mantua, residents are invited to celebrate the holidays with the Merry Evening in the Village this weekend. The event will be on the Village of Mantua on December 7th from 4 to 8 p.m., where shops will be decorated, stocked with Christmas items, and restaurants will offer food specials. The Crestwood High School will be singing Christmas carols, as well as the band be holding a cookie walk to raise money for their trip in February.
Congratulations to the humble town of Medina, Ohio. It was just selected as one of HGTV's top 50 best small towns to visit for Christmas. It was chosen for its historic town square, shops, gazebos, and Noel's Castle. The museum features props from a plethora of Christmas movies, such as Jingle All the Way, A Christmas Carol, and Fred Claus. All this on top of a New York-style animated window. X may have Meta its match. How Meta's app Threads is performing against X, the company formerly known as Twitter, in terms of engagement as well as downloads.
The holidays are coming up, but while the season are a time for joy, they can be stressful for many. CNN's Jody Baumstein will tell you more in the Health Minute.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become one in a million.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is TV2 News, truly Portage County.
Welcome back. We return tonight with news about Meta, CVS, and Ford.
TV2's correspondent Anthony Leonardi has more with today's Consumer Watch. Hi, Anthony.
What's up, guys? We're going to get things started with the rising social media platform Threads in today's Consumer Watch. The social media app Threads might be gaining ground on the platform X, formerly known as Twitter. The app had about 20% more downloads over the year, but that may be due to the fact that X is a lot older. This means that there's a chance that many people already have the app on their devices, so the numbers might be skewed in Threads' direction because of that. And CVS is going to change the prices of drugs soon, which could affect the cost of your prescription. The pharmacy's formula for pricing includes the cost of the drug itself, a set markup, and a fee. CVS says that this approach will be more transparent and simple. Company executives say prescription costs should fall rather than rise for customers. The plan is called the CVS Cost Vantage and should be launching in 2025. The car company Ford is recalling its 2015 Fiesta, 2016 Fusion, and 2016 Lincoln MKZ models that were sold in states such as Alabama, Georgia, and Texas. Ford says there was an issue with the inside door locks, which could potentially allow the door to open while driving. Owners of these cars are able to take them to a dealership for repair at no cost. Check the NHTSA website for details, and you can search using your vehicle identification number. And sticking with cars, according to the latest auto reliability survey from Consumer Reports, electric vehicles are having 79% more problems than other vehicles. However, the issue isn't really because the vehicles are electric. The problems arise because mostly new models of these vehicles tend to have more issues, and car companies are not as familiar with them as they are the traditional regular fueled vehicles. And Amazon is helping students return home for the holiday season. The company is offering about 3,000 domestic flights for Prime student members for only $25 in its partnership with Student Universe. The discounted flights became available this morning, and for 3 days, 1,000 flights will be offered, and members who miss those days are still able to use a code for $25 off a normal flight. And that's all I have for today's Consumer Watch, but don't go anywhere. I'll be back to give you guys updates about the ongoing conflict in the Middle East between Israel and Hamas.
You know, it may be hard to believe with the snow and wind we've experienced today, but scientists are saying that this past November was the warmest one on recent record.
According to Japan's meteorology agency, last month beat the previous record set in 2020 by a 3-degree margin. It also marked the 6th month in a row that set new global average temperatures.
But, you know, bringing things back to the Buckeye State, I want to call in an expert. You know, Aaron's here with us at the desk, and I just kind of want to talk about this weather we've been experiencing. I don't know if it's just me, but, you know, it was warm right before Thanksgiving break. I came back, and it was snowy and cold. It's snowing today, and, you know, is this weather roller coaster we're on going to continue?
You know, Noah, it is going to continue. Like you said, the past couple of weeks have been really hit or miss and all over the place. We've been getting days of 50, 60, back down to 30, rain, snow, sun. It's been all over the place. And this upcoming week, in fact, the next 2 weeks, are going to be no exception for that. We're going to see temperatures in the 40s, 50s, even a day of mid-60 coming up in a couple days. So let's go ahead and transition over, and I will give you guys the full rundown on your 7-day forecast. For tomorrow, temperatures are going to open up right to 41 degrees with a low of 32. Partly cloudy skies are going to be rolling into our area. And like I said previously in the show, it's going to be a cold morning tomorrow. A lot of that wet rain that has coated our ground today has the potential to freeze overnight and pose potential dangerous conditions for drivers tomorrow morning. Thursday will also be some partly cloudy skies with a high of 54 and a low of 41. Friday, partly cloudy again for our area, bringing us a high of 57, so we're getting closer there with a low of 49. Your weekend is not going to be the best of conditions if you're planning on going out here in town. Saturday is going to bring you a high of 63, like I mentioned over with Noah and Joe. Some light rain on Saturday, and Sunday, that rain is going to persist and has the chance, as we can see, to bring in a slight mixture of snow as well. Sunday's high will be 49 with a low of 30. Moving into the beginning of next week, partly cloudy on Monday and Tuesday with a high of 43 and a low of 41 on Monday. Tuesday's high is also 43 with a low of 26. Now let's go ahead and transition into the weather tonight for Northeast Ohio. Up on the bay in Sandusky, 37 degrees, 39 in Cleveland, and 36 in Ashtabula. Here in beautiful Kent, Ohio, 34, 36 in Youngstown, Canton, Worcester, and Mansfield. And for the rest of Ohio, temperatures are right in that 30 to low 40 region. As we can see, we have some 36s up here, 38 in Columbus, 42 in Cincinnati, and 37 in Lima. Coming up later in the show, I will continue on with our weather report.
You know, as the holidays are right around the corner, many people are starting to feel the stress of buying gifts, traveling, and other issues that come up around this time.
CNN's Jody Baumstein talks about setting boundaries this holiday season in today's Health Minute.
It's that time of year again, but before taking on what the holidays throw at you, make sure you're also taking care of your mental health.
A lot of times we don't want to talk about boundaries because we think it's negative or that we shouldn't need them. But the reality is, healthy relationships have very good boundaries, and they're very clear and understood by both people.
Licensed therapist Jody Baumstein says setting boundaries can be uncomfortable. So first, recognize your triggers.
Thinking in advance, is there something that regularly happens that doesn't sit well with you or that feels like a violation?
Before a get-together, Baumstein says to get ahead of triggers by making people aware of them beforehand.
In the heat of the moment is not the time to bring it up, because the reality is we aren't our calm, rational selves. We're emotional and we're heightened.
Next, if your boundary is crossed, have a plan. But Baumstein says to remember, we only have control over ourselves.
If somebody brings something up that you've repeatedly said is off limits, you can't stop them from doing it, but you can decide that you're going to shut down the conversation or you're going to leave, because this is really about you having peace and protecting yourself.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And you know, if unlike me, you have actually enough hair to style, you may want to take a look at the back of the bottle. A new study found most products that produce shiny, frizz-free hair include a compound known as siloxane. Researchers have found that this compound is known to be linked to a liver, lung, and nervous system damage in animals, but this hasn't been tested with humans yet.
In the wake of an off-duty pilot attempting to deliberately crash a flight in October, the Federal Aviation Administration is attempting to address mental health. The FAA has announced a new special mental health rulemaking committee. The committee will be made up of experts from the medical and aviation community. The committee is looking to support pilots and encourage them to take care of their mental health.
With the new word of the year, it may be finally time to retire goated with the sauce. This quirked up white boy will fill you on the Pogger's pick and tell you exactly how to use it.
And we've got the best Monday Night Football game of the season. Will the hometown Jags take the crown from the Queen City?
Finding life beyond Earth is no longer a dream. It's a discovery that will likely be made during our lifetime, and it will change everything. We are home to over 100 explorer scientists. Our purpose is singular: to understand the origins and prevalence of life and intelligence in the universe, so that we might lay the framework for humanity's next steps to the stars. We are the SETI Institute.
Can we get strawberries?
Okay.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Ohio State receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. is among one of the 4 finalists that have been announced for this year's Heisman Trophy. Harrison being nominated gives Ohio a finalist in 5 of the last 6 seasons.
The Heisman has been given to the nation's most outstanding college football player since 1935. This year's winner will be announced Saturday in New York. Ohio State has seen 7 Heisman winners, most recently quarterback Troy Smith in 2006.
All right, Della, so help us out here. What is so big about this trophy for maybe Joe, I, and all the other people who aren't as invested in sports?
Yeah, absolutely. A Heisman is known to kind of catapult your career into the NFL. Most of the time you win a Heisman as a junior or senior, some kind of upperclassman. So if you have a Heisman Award winner on your resume, it makes you look a lot better going into the draft in order to get drafted and start on a team, actually. But we'll take it now to the Kent State fans. 9 Kent State cross-country student athletes have been named the 2023 Academic All-Mid-American Conference teams. The conference office announced this on Tuesday. Of those highlighted juniors, Sydney Gallagher and Ariana Manos were among the 13 student athletes with a perfect 4.0 GPA. The Academic All-MAC honors is for student athletes who have excelled in both academics and athletics. Congratulations as always to the honorees, and absolutely look out for spring track and field starting up really soon. And keeping with the Kent State theme, the Kent State gymnastics team is working tirelessly to have their season start off with the best blue and gold meet on Sunday. Anticipation is high as the Flashes have been training about 18 hours a week in their newly renovated facility that they received over the summer. Keep an eye out for the Beams team this season as they have just hired a new Beams coach, Josie Angie, who's also been choreographing new floor routines for the upcoming season. Carly Franz, Sarah Haxton, and Alyssa Guns are expected to have the biggest season, so keep an eye out for them and all things Flashes Gymnastics on @TV2 KSU Sports. And we'll shift now to the gridiron. If you watched literally any football game this season, you probably have seen that there's always some kind of injuries. However, on Sunday, an unlikely injury occurred with the Saints in the Lions game. Running back Alvin Kamara was pushed out of bounds and into the leg of an NFL official, Nick Piazza. He unfortunately fractured his fibula and will have to get surgery. Everybody here at TV2, of course, wishes Nick a safe and speedy recovery. But on the topic of injuries, we'll take it now. Bengals taking on the Jags in primetime without Joey Franchise. We'll see how they can do here. Red zone for the home team. Travis Etienne on the corner with the 4-yard rush. Puts the Jags up by a touchdown early on. But now it's going to go right back to the Bengals. This is a back and forth game the whole time. Browning, red zone to Mixon. on the run. Both teams have short runs on the end zone, and we are tied 7-7. Joe Mixon being a huge player for them in that game. Evan Ingram now, he's going to go up the sideline, and he is going to catapult himself diving into the end zone, charting his first touchdown of the year to put the Jags up by a score. But Joe Mixon's going to put the equalizer up with his second touchdown of the day. But, you know, it's not a Bengals game without Jamar Chase doing something really cool. So here's the 76-yard touchdown for number one to take the lead right back. And a back-and-forth game is going to end in OT and show you why you draft a kicker. Houday Nation takes home a win, 34-31 final. And that's all I have for you today, but don't go too far because in the next half hour, we're lacing up to talk about some NHL, then shifting our focus ahead to Paris for the 2024 Olympics.
Once again, Taylor Swift has smashed through some records. I know everyone at home is ready for their weekly Taylor Swift update, and we'll give it to you next.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, and she convinced me to continue my education. No one receives a diploma alone. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Would you consider yourself the Rizzler? Maybe even the Wizard of Oz? Perhaps a little bit skibbity? If so, you're in luck. Oxford Dictionary has named Riz the word of the year. It's derived from the word charisma, and Riz refers to the person's ability to attract a romantic partner through style, charm, or attractiveness. Other words that were nominated were TV2 general manager Nuria Hurtado's personal pick, Swiftie, which describes a Taylor Swift fan.
And speaking of Taylor Swift, are you ready for your weekly Taylor Swift propaganda? Well, here we go. A few of Taylor Swift and Beyoncé's songs have been featured on the American Heart Association's list of music that helps with hands-only CPR. Swift songs include You're Losing Me, Welcome to New York, and Sparks Fly, and Beyoncé's include Virgo's Groove and Break My Soul. The Heart Association says that these songs have a beat from 100 to 120 pulses per minute, perfect for hands-only CPR. Hands-only CPR is for adults and teens.
You know, that is all the time we have for now, but don't go anywhere.
Be sure to follow us on social media and take a look at kentwired.com for more updates.
We'll be back at 6:30 with more news, weather, and sports.
We'll see you then.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it. I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool. Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Tonight at 6:30 on TV2, a suspect has been arrested in connection to the murder of a woman in Kent last month. We'll have the latest from Kent Police on this developing case.
Traveling season is upon us, with many students leaving campus for winter break and holidays approaching. Our reporter Dennis Farahani has all the details on how to make traveling a little bit easier for you.
Israel is seemingly getting prepared to continue their fight within the Gaza Strip as armored vehicles move deeper into Palestine.
House Republicans are launching an impeachment investigation on President Biden. This story and more as TV2 starts right now.
Good evening, Portage County, and thank you so much for joining us for the last Tuesday newscast of the semester.
My name is Joe Malbin.
And I'm Noah Rowe. Let's get right into the news. The Kent Police Department has announced that the suspect, DeJuan Wilson, has been arrested in Texas for allegedly murdering a 35-year-old woman in Kent this November.
Police say that Wilson is currently in custody, and there is still an expedition process to have him transported from Texas to Ohio that has to take place. Wilson was the suspect in a murder of a 35-year-old woman on November 22nd in an apartment complex in Kent.
And in later news, traveling season is here. Our reporter Dennis Farahani has more about students' travel plans and how to make it easier for you this holiday season.
Dennis, what can you tell us?
Hi guys, that's right. The holiday season is upon us, and many want to know how airports are preparing to accommodate for them. I took a trip down to the Akron-Canton Airport to find out how.
As we enter the full swing of the holiday season, travelers are now starting to go to the airports to get to their holiday destinations.
We are prepping for the white stuff, right? The winter. We have a fantastic team that really accommodates you, the visitor, the traveler, from the moment you leave your car in the parking lot to the moment you get to the gate. We want to make that experience as seamless as possible.
With that, some travelers still have their concerns of how navigating the airport will go.
Getting through security is always like the biggest one, I think, because there's always the scare of it taking too long, and then obviously like making sure that like I don't miss my flight, because that's important, like seeing that like if the flight gets delayed by anything and if I'm gonna miss a connecting flight.
With this December travel season beginning to start, the airport has a few ways for passengers to help have safe and smooth travels.
We usually ask the passengers to check with the airlines in advance, at least 2 to 3 weeks in advance. We also ask that folks, when they arrive to the airport, if they are traveling with sensitive items, maybe it's a newborn mother with infant milk or something like that, that they follow the 311 rule, and that you can obtain on tsa.gov.
Since COVID, airport travel numbers have increased significantly, and now they are planning how to accommodate.
So between Thanksgiving and Christmas, we're expecting over 60,000 travelers. So it's probably our largest number since before COVID. So we are probably 20% off of our pre-pandemic traffic numbers compared to that time.
I understand like after COVID, like obviously the airports have been affected tremendously, just like there's no straight flights anymore, especially like coming to school in Ohio, being from California, like I can't find a straight flight home.
Overall, airports are hoping that travelers see the work they have done and are continuing to do to help travelers have comfortable trips.
The Canton-Akron Airport also showed me all the additions they've added, like a sensory room to help little ones who might be going on their first flight. They also mentioned so many other plans they may have in store. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Dennis Farahani.
Thanks, Dennis. This month, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine and the Ohio Department of Transportation announced they'd be investing $73.8 million as part of ODOT's Highway Safety Program. This is to reduce the risk of crashes on Ohio roads. This funding will be used on 25 different projects across 19 different counties between the fiscal years of 2024 and 2029. Included in these improvements would be a roundabout on US 244 in Portage County. In an effort to increase the number of high school students who remain in Ohio for college, Governor Mike DeWine has launched the Governor's Merit Scholarship Program. The program is in collaboration with the Ohio Department of Higher Education and is open to graduating seniors in the top 5% of their class in 2024. The scholarship will be renewable for up to 4 years and would offer $5,000 in financial assistance.
Ohio's life expectancy is below nationwide averages, according to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. In 2020, the leading cause of death in Ohio was heart disease, but since 2021, Ohio has had the 7th highest drug overdose rate. In terms of deaths by firearm injuries, Ohio ranked near the middle of the pack in compared to other states. The overall health of Ohioans also ranks low among other states in the nation, coming in 44th out of 50.
Good Tuesday evening, everybody. I'm Aaron Hauk, your weather anchor, and for our last weather forecast of Tuesday for 2023, it is looking like 34 degrees outside, feels like 34. We've got a slight mixture of rain and snow as we can see coming into our area, especially as that temperature starts to drop this evening. Dew point is at 33, winds are light, north at 3 miles per hour. Humidity is pretty high this afternoon, or evening, rather I should say, at 88%, and visibility is at 8 miles. As for this evening, those temperatures are going to stay pretty low in the 30s, 33 tomorrow for 6 a.m., 36 right around 12 p.m., and 33 with cloudy skies all day at 6 p.m. And for the rest of your guys' forecast, coming up later in the show, I will give you the full rundown on what you can expect to come in the next 7 days. Back to you, Joe.
Thanks, Aaron. Ohio Senate Republicans are attempting to change Ohio's new marijuana law before it goes into effect on Thursday. The Ohio Senate General Government Committee approved a substitute bill on Monday that would eliminate home grow and lower THC levels, among other things. Republicans claim that they are addressing concerns with the law in order to benefit public policy, while Democrats are concerned that the changes are not what the voters wanted.
An Ohio court has decided that the city of Columbus is not allowed to make laws requiring gun owners to lock their guns up to prevent children from accessing them. Guns rights groups have supported this decision, calling laws like these unconstitutional, while supporters of laws like these believe these changes could help protect children from accidentally injuring themselves or others.
Earlier today, the Ohio State House Higher Education Committee sent out a revised committee notice adding Senate Bill 83 to the agenda for its hearing tomorrow. According to the bill's opposition, Senate Bill 83, titled Honesty for Education, didn't have the votes and needed more work. If passed, the highly controversial bill would affect how higher education treats controversial issues. Lawmakers struggle as they decide how to handle an upcoming aid package. Anthony Leonardi will have all about it.
The next GOP presidential debate is coming up soon, and we have the list of everyone who's going to be there. We'll tell you all about it coming up on TV2.
Finding life beyond Earth is no longer a dream. It's a discovery that will likely be made during our lifetime, and it will change everything. We are home to over 100 explorer scientists. Our purpose is singular: to understand the origins and prevalence of life and intelligence in the universe, so that we might lay the framework for humanity's next steps to the stars. We are the SETI Institute.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine. And I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart, that there's room for me and Mom When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns, like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, you know, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero.
Good job, kitty cat.
When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is TV2 News, truly Portage County.
Hello, Portage County, and welcome back.
As we continue our programming tonight, it's time to take a look at the most recent developments on the conflict between Israel and Hamas.
Our correspondent Anthony Leonardi has the latest.
Hi guys, it seems that things are continuing to escalate over in the Middle East between Israel and Hamas. Israel is stepping up in fighting in the Gaza Strip as the war against Hamas becomes more intense. And new satellite images show Israeli armored vehicles are moving into southern Gaza. The images showed the vehicles are to the west of Gaza's north-to-south route. And according to United Nations officials, the situation has become, quote, apocalyptic as civilian casualties are rapidly increasing. And the White House says it continues working to bring Israeli hostages home, even though the temporary truce with Hamas ended. Jake Sullivan, National Security Advisor, says the U.S. is doing everything under their control to free the rest of the hostages.
We continue to do everything in our power under the President's leadership and guidance with his direct involvement and participation to try to bring all of these Americans home, as well as all of the hostages, and we will not rest until we have succeeded in doing so. Right now, Hamas is refusing to release civilian women who should have been part of the agreement.
The National Security Advisor has said that he's working on the matter with the President as well as the CIA. He also said that they are in touch with Israeli, Qatari, and Egyptian counterparts. 105 people who were released by Hamas during a temporary truce with Israel, which started on November 24th and ended early December 1st. And Republicans and Democrats are currently at odds over an aid package for Ukraine and Israel. Democrat lawmakers are taking steps to bring the matter to the floor this week, and many Republican lawmakers say they will not budge unless a domestic matter is included. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina is among the Republicans that want funds to address the immigration crisis on the southern border. The presidents of Harvard, MIT, and Pennsylvania University were questioned on Capitol Hill today, and lawmakers had questions regarding their responses to alleged on-campus incidents of anti-Semitism in the wake of the war between Israel and Hamas. There have been hundreds of protests as well as counter-protests, and some of them turn violent as the tension rises in the war.
In the 2 months since the atrocities of October 7th and the subsequent armed conflict and humanitarian crisis in Gaza, we have seen a dramatic and deeply concerning rise in anti-Semitism around the world, in the United States, and on our campuses, including my own.
Sticking with the topic of anti-Semitism, the House of Representatives passed a resolution condemning it in the United States and globally. More than 90 Democratic members voted present rather than casting an up or down vote, and several Jewish lawmakers, including New York Congressman Jerry Nadler, urged their colleagues to vote present and labeled the Republican-backed measure a partisan attempt to score political points. For more updates, be sure to keep up with us at KentWired.com and follow us on all social media at KentWired. I've been Anthony Leonardi. Have a fantastic night, Portage County.
Back, everyone. Let's go ahead and take a look at the temperatures here in Northeast Ohio this evening. Up on the bay in Sandusky, 37 degrees, 39 in Cleveland, and 36 just a little bit farther north in Ashtabula. Moving down to beautiful Kent, Ohio, we are at 34 degrees with 36 just a little bit farther south in Canton and Youngstown. 36 also in Worcester and Mansfield. As for the rest of our state, Akron and Steubenville both at 36 degrees with 38 down in Athens and 38 in Columbus. 37 degrees here in Lima, 41 in Dayton, and 42 degrees down in Cincinnati. And what you guys can expect for the next 7 days. Tomorrow, 41 degrees with partly cloudy skies and a low of 32. Thursday, we're going to be bumping it up just a little bit to 54 with a low of 41. Again, partly cloudy skies. And for Friday, high of 57 degrees with a low of 49. Your weekend, definitely not going to be the best of conditions if you're planning on going out. Some light rain on Saturday, but a high of 63 degrees and a low of 46. And on Sunday, some light rain switching into a little bit of a wintry mix in the evening, bringing us a high of 49 and a low of 30. And for the beginning of next week, Monday and Tuesday, both partly cloudy skies, both highs of 43. Low on Monday is 31 and 28 degrees on Tuesday. And that is all for your Tuesday evening weather report. Signing off for the last time in 2023, I'm Aaron Hauk. Back to you, Joe.
House Republicans are looking as early as this week to bring an impeachment investigation on President Biden.
The House has no choice, if it's going to follow its constitutional responsibility, to formally adopt an impeachment inquiry on the floor so that when the subpoenas are challenged in court, we'll be at the apex of our constitutional authority. This vote is not a vote to impeach President Biden. This is a vote to continue the inquiry of impeachment, and that's a necessary constitutional step, and I believe we'll get every vote that we get.
House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan told reporters on Monday that the investigation of Biden would look into potential charges of bribery, obstruction, and abuse of power. The accusations stem from when Biden was vice president, whether or not he abused his power to pressure Ukraine into firing a prosecutor who was looking into Ukrainian energy company Burisma, and the president's son, Hunter, served on the board at the time. The allegations from Republicans are not new, however, there is no public evidence to support the GOP claims.
4 candidates have qualified for the 4th GOP presidential primary debate set to take place tomorrow. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie will face off in Alabama. Former President Donald Trump, the front-runner for the GOP nomination, will skip this debate as he has all previous debates.
Despite the upcoming election rapidly approaching, young Americans don't seem to be as eager to cast their vote. All this according to a recent Harvard IOP poll of 18 to 29-year-olds. Out of those polled, only 49% say they definitely plan on voting, which is a 57% decrease from 2020. The poll also finds Biden holding a lead at 48%, with 33% saying they'd support Trump and 19% say they are unsure or would not vote.
According to an inside source, Representative Patrick McHenry will not be seeking re-election, but the Republican from North Carolina will be finishing out his term. McHenry is a notable figure in the GOP after serving as the Speaker pro tempore this fall. Former Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy has also announced his decision to not seek re-election.
It seems Lionel Messi just keeps winning. The Argentinian soccer superstar had quite a year. Hear about his latest accomplishment.
Don't know what you should watch this week? Follow along with me as I tell you my picks for Game of the Week.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Reach out, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become one in a million.
Come on! Go, Diane! Yeah, keep it going! Yeah! Go, honey!
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane! Woo! You got this!
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Getting that college education, what are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Welcome back to our second sports block of the evening. I'm still Della Fowler, and this is still TV2 Sports, so let's see what we have in store. As far as the NFL is concerned, this week is going to be all about Sunday night, where the best in the league, Eagles, look to bounce back from a tough loss last week to the 49ers. They're taking on an old friend and rival in a very loud AT&T Stadium. The Cowboys have shown this year that they could finally be their year. Dak Prescott's looking better than ever, and CeeDee Lamb is coming off a huge week against the Seahawks. However, the Eagles have shown that they can find a way to still win the games with their outstanding O-line, stellar QB, and a little bit of that Philly grit. Be sure to check out the game of the night, Sunday night on NBC. And on the ice, my game to watch this week is the Vegas Golden Knights at the Dallas Stars. The champion Knights will travel to Dallas as the Stars will try to overthrow Colorado to be kings of the Central West Division. On Vegas' side, keep a lookout for Jack Eichel, who's been having a great season, along with goalie Aiden Hill, who has the best save percentage in the league right now. And on the other side of the ice, Dallas has Joe Pavleski, who leads the team in goals, and Jake Ottinger, who's got a 9.915 save percentage. This matchup will be fun and scrappy, so be sure to tune in for some Saturday night hockey for your weekend. And now we'll look at my favorite sporting event of the year. It only comes once every 4 years, the Summer Olympics. We have big sports like swimming with Katie Ledecky, and Simone Biles is coming back to lead the women's team to more medals. But here's a few events that you should keep an eye out for this summer that you might not even know existed. And now we'll move first. First on my list is archery. There's this recurve, compound, and bare bow, 3 different terminologies for it. So if you want to relive your Katniss Everdeen vibes going in, you can totally watch a bunch of amazing Americans and athletes from the world compete there. Number 2 is fencing. I'm going to reference another movie here. If you saw The Parent Trap, where they fence off, you're going to love this portion of the Olympics. Lee Kiefer won gold in 2020 and will probably, hopefully for America, bring it home again in 2024 in Paris. And my last event to look out for is trampoline. Russia is historically good at this, but it's such a fun sport to watch because you're jumping on a literal trampoline and you're having to exercise so much control of your body and be able to maintain where you want to land, how you want to land, and still be able to be scored on, literally jumping up and down on a trampoline. And before I go, we do have a little bit of breaking news that we got mid-show. The Cleveland Guardians have received the #1 overall pick in the 2024 MLB draft, followed by Cincinnati. So Ohio's looking pretty good as far as baseball's concerned, looking towards the spring. But that's all I've got for you tonight. Have a happy holidays and a wonderful break. For TV2 Sports, I'm Della Fowler.
If you thought you were done hearing about Taylor Swift on the Tuesday newscast, you're not going to believe what's coming up. We'll talk all about the star next.
Told by kids with books.
read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Finding life beyond Earth is no longer a dream. It's a discovery that will likely be made during our lifetime, and it will change everything. We are home to over 100 explorer scientists. Our purpose is singular: to understand the origins and prevalence of life and intelligence in the universe, so that we might lay the framework for humanity's next steps to the stars. We are the SETI Institute.
Well, Time magazine has announced its Athlete of the Year. Soccer superstar Lionel Messi won this year's award. Recent accolades for the soccer star include leading his national team, Argentina, to a victory in the World Cup and winning Ballon d'Or award for World's Player of the Year. Some people would argue Messi is the best to ever play the world sport. Messi was in the news earlier this year when he joined MLS team Inter Miami.
And Taylor Swift may just help you save someone's life. No, seriously. Some of their songs are on the American Heart Association's list of music that helps with hands-only CPR. They include Swift's You're Losing Me, Welcome to New York, and Sparks Fly, as well as Beyonce's Virgo's Groove and Break My Soul. The Heart Association says the tempos of those songs match the ideal CPR chest compression rate of 100 to 120 pulses per minute.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That is,
yeah.
You know, we've been talking about her all year. It feels like almost every week, Taylor Swift this, Taylor Swift that. Taylor Swift said this, won that award. But I'm so happy that I can use this star to save someone's life potentially.
Yeah. I mean, if something good can come out of Taylor Swift, then, you know, that's great.
It's fantastic.
That's amazing.
Almost makes me want to sing one last time.
You should.
Do you want to do a little blank space
Yes.
with me?
No.
And I've got a blank space, baby. And I'll write your name.
That's okay. Great job.
Thanks. You know, that's all the time we have for tonight in Portage County. Thank you so much for joining us.
Be sure to follow us on all of our social medias and check out Kent Wired for more updates on these and other stories.
I'm Noah Rowe.
And I've been Joe Malbin.
Thank you so much for joining us all semester. Portage County, have a great night.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.